Thank you all so much for your support. We're only a small channel still, but the more support, definitely the merrier. Now I've hopefully sorted out my background now. One of you requested it. I think I had pink flowers last time and it just didn't look great. We're gonna look at Super Meatboy and why it's a purchase you should make on the 11th of January. If you remember in a previous video, I stated that they would release a Mega Man. Now, I mean, that was probably a lucky guess, but I'm going to make another lucky guess. There are a lot of rumors floating around Reddit that there is going to be a release of Dark Souls. Now, initially they were saying, oh, they're going to release all 3 games. Those are going to be released as a single pack. But that was shut down pretty quickly because initially that was a release that was supposed to be happening in December, and that didn't end up happening. Now, there's another leak, or rumour, that perhaps they're going to announce a Dark Souls 1 Deluxe, so special edition, tweaked and made to look as good as possible on the Switch, probably look a little bit like the PC version, to be honest. And that's going to be announced supposedly at the Nintendo Direct event on the 11th of January. So that's definitely something to look out for. With these rumours, we can never be sure. There are stories that the guy's just making it up, which he could well be. He's not one of the most well-known tipsters, if you want to call them that. But if they do announce Dark Souls, oh my giddy aunts, that's going to be amazing. So Super Meatboy was released a few years back and I actually owned it on the PC. I had an Xbox controller and it handled beautifully. One of the first things you'll notice when you play this game is just how well this game handles. Now what we're all hoping from the Switch version, that it has that same great Twitch gameplay, but is still just as brutal as ever. Hopefully you can see they've actually added a split screen multiplayer option for the Switch version that allows you to race through the levels with a friend or a partner or someone else, maybe someone you don't like because you want to thrash them on it. But it looks really smooth. Supposedly the game's going to run at 60 frames per second, which you'd expect from a game of this type, but you don't always find that that's the case. Recently I've reviewed a few amazing indie games. Games such as Enter the Gungeon, which is an absolutely amazing indie title and one that you should all own if you don't own it already. But those types of games aren't for everyone. Sometimes you like to go back to the real old school platformers, but you're kind of sick of those 2D games that are everywhere at the moment. This is where games like Super Meatboy come in. If you're not entirely sure what Super Meatboy is about and you've never actually played it before, then I'll just go over the basics for you guys. It's a platform game where you can jump continuously and stick to the walls. It's kind of grim. As you can see, there's like blood everywhere. If you land on the spikes, it just slices you to pieces. As soon as you die, you flick back to the start of the level and it just shows that you've lost one of those lives, and it keeps a track of how many lives it takes you to complete each level. I think the affectionate name that we can call these types of games is a rage platformer. It's one of those games where you will die continuously and you'll get into such a rage, but when you complete that level, you're going to be like, and it will make all of those deaths worthwhile. Super Meatboy has like hundreds and hundreds of levels, and I think it's been released on the store for about £12, so that's probably about $15. For that price, it's definitely worth you getting this one. This game is absolutely brilliant, and it's been announced, which I find kind of strange, for the 11th. So it's down for release on the 11th, which again is this rumoured Nintendo Direct event. So is it going to be one of the games that they're going to say, oh, and Super Meatboy? Now, as you know, there's those 20 odd placeholders on Amazon at the moment, Amazon.com. Some of those going for $99, $60, and that screams deluxe editions. That screams premium games. That doesn't scream small indie games for those prices. Now, as we say, those prices are only placeholders. What a sweet 2018 start we would really have if we got a Dark Souls game. That would be like better than like Logan Paul in tears apologizing, but that's never gonna happen. Awkward. Massive shout out to all of these people here. I mean, I don't know if you can see any of those, if you can actually read those, but you guys, these are all people that have added me through the channel. My friend link's going to be down at the bottom of the screen here. Please add me this coming Friday at about 9 PM GMT, so Greenwich Mean Time here in the UK. I don't know what that is in America or elsewhere. Try and get me on Switch before then. We're going to be doing some Resident Evil. We're going to do some Rocket League just for fun. Maybe try and get a 4v4 of subscribers. So happy New Year to all you guys. Make sure you add me on Switch, and let's look a little bit at Super Meat Boy and some of the other games that are being released in the next few days.